Okay, good afternoon, everyone. Let me let this down just a tad. Oops. We are here in Tammy's flower shop.
Yes.
And it is beautiful in here. I picked up a few things. I'm so excited to get to see this place because I've known Tammy now for 90 days almost.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Tammy joined my challenge, she and her husband. And and so they're going to share their story tonight. He's going to talk first, right? And just and he's shy. So we're going to let him talk and then he's going to come over here and sit down. And Tammy and I are going to talk.
Yeah, I'm not shy.
Yeah, Tammy's not shy. My husband's out in the car, by the way. He's on the iPad.
Well, Tammy can talk for me.
Okay, so I want you to tell just your experience, what you thought about this when you first started, and kind of how it went along for you.
Well, it started out pretty simple. I done it just because Tammy was wanting to do it.
Right.
But then the more I attempted to do it, and immediately I done it just like y'all said to do it and everything. And then I figured out after just a couple of days that it wasn't hard. And that it really, it took me a couple of weeks and I looked in the mirror and I was like, wow, where'd it go? So pounds didn't leave me quick, but inches did. So that's where I'm standing.
So how many pounds have you lost?
23 pounds as of today
And where did you mostly lose it, you feel?
in my gut.
Yeah. And so when you say I did it, what did you do?
I eat right and didn't eat junk.
Okay.
I laid down all of the junk that I really like.
So your problem or your issue when we first talked was that you eat out every day
Every day.
for lunch. And so you were thinking, how am I going to eat healthy and eating out? But you did it.
Yes, ma'am.
So give me an
Everywhere.
example like Mexican food.
Okay,
What did you-
Mexican restaurant. It just so happened I personally always eat the chimichangas because God have mercy, they're great. But they're really, really, really fattening. And then at the same Mexican restaurant, I changed, and one day I got they call it a Dana salad. And it has everything in it, from guacamoles to spinach to and it was very good.
Yeah.
So it wasn't a bad choice. It's just a choice I made. And
So I'm going
changed.
to ask you, do you feel deprived?
No.
Okay.
No.
That's the beauty of this is you can't stick with something that if you feel deprived. You just can't. You might can for a while, but eventually you'll be thinking about how much you miss it and you'll go back to it.
Right.
So you even said a while ago, you asked me, he said, do I keep losing weight? I'm like, no, you'll level off and you'll start adding back a few things. Like tonight I had a salad, I added a sweet potato to it, on the side. And, I had a sandwich a couple of days ago, but you don't keep losing weight. You get to a place, and then if you want to lose some more, then you fast,
Right.
for a few
Yes, ma'am.
days. And so do you think this is something you can do for the rest of your life?
I think so. Yes, ma'am. It's pretty easy once you're making your mind up.
Now, how do you feel? Do you feel different?
Now, yeah, I feel a lot. I'm already energetic, but I feel more healthy, and I'm not as sluggish at times that
Like
I normally
after
would.
meals?
Yes,
Yeah.
ma'am.
Well, after some chimichangas,
You
You'll
ready to go to
feel
bed?
you'll feel sluggish, yeah.
Yeah.
What about cost-wise? Have you saved any money now that you're not eating as much and as often? Or
Yeah, because I've quit eating out. Now I just come up here and sit with Tammy. If I'm in town, yeah, I mean, that's good. I mean,
Yeah.
I love that. I mean,
But he had a flash food habit too.
Okay.
oh man.
Whoa, that was costing you some
3
money.
and 4 soft drinks a day.
Yeah.
And wanting more, but I would.
Yeah.
And a
So-
snack when he get, candy
Oh yeah,
bar.
you'd have to pick up a candy bar.
So do you ever have a craving for that now?
No, ma'am.
Never.
I haven't drunk soft drinks
in the 90 days.
and I
he
started
started
like
ahead.
2 or 3 weeks before my 90 days. I was gonna
Okay.
quit them,
Okay.
and I hadn't touched anything since.
So gosh, you're probably saving $50 a week.
Easily. Oh
Ah,
gosh,
yeah.
yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We've saved a lot of money.
Yeah. Okay. Well, thank you so much
so
for your debut on the camera.
Yay!
Yay!
Congratulations!
All right. Okay, now we're going to talk to Tammy, and I wrote down a few questions just because I wanted to make sure that.
Thank y'all.
Yeah, thank you. You know, we're laughing and we're having fun, but this is really life and death for people. It was for you.
Yes, it was.
It was for her, and God brought her. I feel like God, and just yesterday I was praying about the new people that were going to be in this challenge, and I said, God, I know you're going to send some people that literally this is going to be life and death. I'm excited about an interview I'm doing in the morning with a girl that literally, she's lost almost 60 pounds, and it was life or death with her. She had lost her life. So I'm gonna ask Tammy a few questions. She's just gonna kind of go in and tell her story. So Tammy lives over in Hazelhurst, so you don't have to live in Vidalia. You can be anywhere. I mean, I've had people in Hawaii, Florida, everywhere. You know, do the challenge. So Tammy, I want to ask you, why did you message me at first? What did you see? What made you know about?
Well, I was somebody shared your video. I'm not sure who had shared a health video. And you were talking about being healthier, living a healthier life, and not having to be on so many medications. And that kind of, it just tweaked my interest. And so I started watching you, and I watched your videos every time I seen one come on. And I think there was something I clicked, and I was able to, every time you were live, to see the video.
Here's what it is. You click on Get Notified when Nancy goes live.
Yes.
So do that if you're interested. Yeah. There's Wendy. Hey, Wendy. Wendy was in a challenge a couple of years ago, and then her stepmom joined and did great. Hey, Gloria. Gloria's actually in this challenge.
Oh,
remember
okay.
you saw her?
Yes.
She was in the Marco Polo. So Gloria's up in North Carolina.
Yeah.
So you watched some videos, and it got you interested.
Got me interested in having a healthier life.
Okay.
So I watched you for probably a good 6 months. I would watch,
okay.
you know, different videos that you were posting. And I just made my mind up that, you know, I didn't feel good. I'm really bad diabetic.
You were really bad diabetic.
Yes. and here at my flower shop, we're constantly moving stuff around. And I had, we were hammering in some wood up here, and I was on a stool, and I took a tumble. And when I fell, it knocked one of my teeth loose, and I had to go to the dentist. Well, through all that, I found out I had high blood pressure. That's why I got dizzy when I was on the ladder. So I knew that losing weight would, you know, help me with my blood pressure as well as with my diabetes. So that's what made me just kind of take the plunge, because I couldn't get the tooth fixed until I got the medicine and got a little bit of my blood pressure down so that I could get that fixed. So that was kind of like an awakening to me to say, hey, girl, you know, you got to do something to live a little bit better life. So that's when I contacted you, because I heard you say that you were going to have a new challenge coming up, and I said, I got to be a part of that. You know, it didn't matter to me what I had to do, how much it was going to cost, you know, because I'm thinking my life is worth whatever the program is, you know, so that
I'm going to ask you, has it been worth it?
Yes, ma'am. Every dime.
The money, every dime, and the things you've changed.
Yes, yes.
Okay, so that was kind of the next question. You kind of told what it was like before. You were struggling with the diabetes medicine. Now your blood pressure.
Right.
And just not feeling good.
Yes, I have really bad pain and arthritis in my hands.
Yeah, and you work with your hands.
All day. Tying bows and doing wires and
all
that. All day long, every day. And that's the first thing I noticed. That was the first healing part that I noticed, was the arthritis in my hand was not as bad. And I mean, within probably the third week, it was completely gone.
Wow! Hallelujah! That's amazing.
Yes, it was amazing. I was just shocked. I was shocked. I woke up one day and I was like, oh my gosh, my hand's not hurting.
Yeah.
You know.
So I want you to watch my videos this coming up week, because I'm going to talk about what happens. What is it she did, and why the pain goes away. Actually, I've got a video I'm doing on the quickest way to get rid of pain, and it really is important. Okay, so what was hard about the program for you?
I think I was addicted to diet drinks. I mean, that was probably, I mean, I know I laugh about it now, but I will at times, you know, I'll just have one because you just want to. I make that choice
It
too.
won't send you to hell.
No, no. But that was probably the hardest thing for me.
Yeah.
The food was not an issue for me. I enjoy eating salad and different meat and stuff, and so I didn't have a lot of issue with that. Now, I think that I had to think about a little more about my preparation time.
Right.
And I wouldn't say that was hard. It was just different.
Right.
It was just something that I had to incorporate into another time of my life to say, okay, on the weekend when I'm not as busy during the week, I'm going to do some food prepping so that when I am busy at night, I've got something I can throw in the oven.
But isn't that good now? You're
Yes,
probably enjoying
I
that.
love it. I love
you don't
it.
have, what we're going to eat and try to start something when you get home from work. You've got at least something
I got
to do.
a plan.
And I know for us, it's like, let's just eat what we got. It's certainly going to be better than a hamburger.
Yes.
It's better for me. And even, you know, it's just a whole different way of looking at food.
Right.
Okay. All right. So what would you say is different about this program than other things you've done? I know you've done Weight Watchers and
I've done a lot of different things, and I was successful at Weight Watchers, but the Weight Watchers did not help my sugar.
Right.
And the reason is because they don't teach you what foods are, you know, high in sugar. Even if it's an optimal food,
Right.
It may not be something that you need to have a lot of.
Right.
You know, so even though you're able on Weight Watchers to have a cup full of strawberries, me being diabetic does not need to eat a cup full of strawberries or grapes or whatever, you know. So for me, this program works better for me because it's taught me that.
Right.
It's taught me the carb content and how the carb content is affecting my blood sugar in the morning. And
so what was your blood sugar in the mornings when you started?
Around 150.
Okay. And what is it now?
Around 100.
Yeah, that's good. And that's a good range. And you know, part of that she did with the fasting.
Right.
And then eliminating the carbs. So basically, the goal is to cure your diabetes, which most people think there's no cure for diabetes, but there is a cure for diabetes, not type 1, but type 2, which is what she is. And, you know, you want to come off of that insulin because the insulin is a fat-storing hormone, and I'm going to talk about that next week. So watch my videos, and I'll talk to you about the cure for diabetes, which...
And when I started the program, I was on 8 units at night, and I'm only on 4 now.
And the goal is
to come off of it completely.
You won't need it. Why would you need it? You don't need, if you don't take in sugar, you don't need something to bring it down. And it's not like you're type 1. You will metabolize some of that sugar.
Yes.
You know. Okay, so I heard you say I like salads and meat, but that's not all you eat.
No.
Yeah.
Nuts and
I
mean, we eat all kinds
eggs
of stuff.
and
Avocados
veggies and a lot of good foods. Okay. I love it when people say there's so much you can have.
Yeah.
You have to just focus on what you can have and let go of what you can't have because, or you know, some people will say it's hard. I'm like, well, you got to pick your hard because disease is hard.
It is.
Getting up and having a blood sugar of 150 because what that's doing is it's damaging your capillaries and your eyes and your kidneys and everywhere. And I'll talk about that even next week. Just what really sugar in your blood does to you.
Yes.
What it does to you. And you want it out. You don't need it. I don't think God ever intended. I think we were created to be in ketosis, which is what you're in.
Right.
And that's what we were just talking about earlier. When you're not hungry, you cannot eat.
Right. You don't have to eat.
So talk about the fasting.
Yep. I was
being
kind
a diabetic. You were scared.
I was afraid to fast because I thought I was going to bottom out, and I just took my meter with me. And the first couple weeks, I did have to eat, like, you know, some nuts or whatever. And I called my endocrinologist, and I talked to him. I told him what I was doing. And he said, oh, I'm so proud of you, you know. And he said, just start scaling back 2 units every night. And the fasting, I think I only had 1 day where I was low. and I love the pecans that you do with the ghee and the sea
right.
salt. And so I had some of those, and I just, eat me a good little handful when it went down that day. And that was the only day that I had an issue with the fasting. And I've not had any issues at all with fasting.
Right. Yeah.
And I've not had any lows. I have felt good, and I'm just sitting there, and I'm in shock and awe thinking, man, where was Miss Nancy when I was 25 and found out I was diabetic? Because I have lived with this horrible disease, and I mean, it has monopolized so much of my life. And I know I'm getting emotional.
Yeah.
But when you live with pain every day,
Right.
and you live with diabetes, and any kind of pain affects your sugar, it affects your blood pressure,
stress,
everything. And so for me to find something to feel as good as what I feel now, I mean, I just want to smooch your face off.
Okay, well, maybe we won't do that, but we will. We did have a good hug because I'd never seen her until I came over here tonight, and I loved it. I mean, there's nothing feels better than what I was in a class, a coaching class the other day, and somebody asked me what is your goal in life? I'm like, what I love to do is teach somebody something, and it changed their life.
Yes,
and that is what's happened here, and it's happened to so many people, and I want it to happen to you. I see Stacy on here. Yeah, thank you, Stacy, for joining. Okay, all right. So, and here's the thing I want to say is Tammy was going through a really stressful time. Her mother dislocated her hip. It was Valentine's in a florist shop. That's the busiest time of year. And this is probably a Valentine's you'll never forget because you didn't have so much pain.
I didn't have the pain. I didn't fall into the temptation with all the chocolate hearts and kisses and all that kind of stuff that was around. I just kept thinking, that is not what I want for my life. I want to be healthy. I want to feel good. And I was able to resist because of the way that I felt. It really made a difference. I mean, it just made a difference.
One of my favorite quotes is, when you change the way you look at things, the things you look at change. And what Tammy has done she's changing the way she sees food. She sees it now as fuel, and that's what all my clients do. And that's what I've done, is when I look at food, it's not like, let me gobble it up. It's like, will this serve me and give me energy, or will it take my energy? So, okay. Can you do this the rest of your life?
Yes, ma'am. Okay. Without a doubt.
Yeah. So even if you went on vacation and maybe y'all had pizza one night and spaghetti one night and whatever you do, on vacation, or you go out and you have ice cream or whatever, when you come back home, and this has happened to my clients, they went on a trip overseas and ate pasta and drank wine and all that. When they come back home, here's what they say: I knew exactly what to do. It wasn't like now I'm 6 weeks binging and gained all my weight back, and you know how to hit the reset and start over, even one day. If you have a treat, somebody, I don't think it was you, said, I had a milkshake a couple of days ago. I'm like, and what did you do? He said, well, the next day I started over. It wasn't like the milkshake made me go into just binging.
Right. Right.
So I think that's what I love about this program, is it's doable for the long haul. And so thank you so much, Tammy, for sharing this. It's a great story. Is there anything else you want to say? What about your blood pressure? Is your blood pressure
My
good?
blood pressure is leveled off, and I'm hoping that when I go back to the doctor, they're going to tell me I can come off of that nasty pill.
Yeah.
Because I feel like that that blood pressure medicine just messes with you.
Yeah.
So I want to come off of it as soon as I can, but I want to do it safely.
Yeah,
I don't want to do it without the doctor's agreement. But no, I just want to say it's awesome. I mean, anybody that has any doubts about the program and doing this, I feel like I'm a living testimony of what works, and what being healthy feels like, and I feel like I'm just starting. I mean,
you are 90 days in.
90 days is just almost up, and
I pinch myself on days I'm like, I feel so good today.
Yeah.
I have so much energy from
Right.
morning till night. I don't have to nap anymore. I don't have to,
Yeah.
you know, I just have energy.
And I left from work here today, and I mean, I've been standing up all day working. We've put an arbor together, getting stuff ready for the prom, and I went home and had a few minutes before we were going to meet, and I went out and I potted some plants, and I watered plants in the yard, and I'm just walking around grounding, and I'm thinking, you know, lady, you're crazy. You should be in there resting, but I don't need to.
Rest. I know.
I feel
if you were
good.
like me, on my best days, I would go home and get on the couch.
Yeah.
And to think about preparing a meal after that, and I'm just so thankful now that I have the energy to do whatever God calls me to do.
That's
and
right.
whoever knows what that is.
That's right.
Okay, so let me talk to you just a minute about what's coming up. So I'm starting this launch because I'm going to be doing a new challenge, and so for the next few days, really about 10 days, I'm going to be doing videos. But here's what I want you to do. I want you to share this video, and what happens. Yeah, hit the love button. Let me hear from you. The comments. When you comment, especially when you hit pound replay, if you're watching the replay, that brings this video back up for more people to see. So what this is all about the next few days is about sharing my program. So if you share this, I'm going to take your name and I'm going to put it in a drawing. And here's what we're going to be drawing for. It's going to be kind of fun. We're going to be drawing, I'm going to do 2 drawings for half price on the program. And then I'm going to be doing, every night, I'm going to be drawing for either supplements or some products that I use. And Tammy doesn't know it yet, but I just sent her a gift. And the gift is cassava bread. Okay?
Oh, okay.
It's some bread. It definitely has carbs because it's made from a root. But it is the Cassava Bread Company. And they're from Evans, Georgia, but I found them at the market in Athens. And I had I just split one in half of sweet potato bread and just put some butter on it. It was delicious. So everybody talks about, well, if you're on low carb, you can't have bread. Well, that is not true. There are some breads that you can have that are healthy. And so I want you to share. I'm going to be drawing for supplements, vitamin D, raw wheatgrass juice, and I'm going to be talking about why you need all those supplements. So share the video, and because here's what happens when you share. The people that are in your feed will see it, and that's how Tammy saw it. So your sharing may save someone's life because people are literally dying to hear this information. They literally are dying. And how do I know that? Because I've been doing this for years now, and people that have come to me were literally declining. And the number one reason, let me just say this, the number one reason why people want to lose weight is how their body looks. But the second reason is their health. They're worrying about their health. So this is what you do. So message me if you're interested. I can go ahead and get on the phone with you. And but share this video, and we'll have a drawing tomorrow night. And we'll talk soon. Y'all have a great night. Thank you, Tammy.